You know, that was me.
So
Can't do too much in Florida now that I'm down here by myself. I decorate for like the holidays, and people ask me, "Why do you bother?" And I'm like, "It's for me.
It's for me too.
Why do I bother?" It's the holidays.
I need to get the Halloween stuff out, but I don't know. I just need to. Maybe this weekend while Greg's away this week. Greg leaves tomorrow morning for Detroit, so I have a whole week on my own.
That could be good and that could be bad, depending.
I can go out to a chocolate week.
My granddaughter will be 6. No, 5. She'll be 5 this week, and her 7-year-old sister came home with COVID.
Oh,
so
no.
The whole family is quarantined. And thankfully, I have not been right beside them. I was away to a crop, but we're crossing our fingers.
Oh, man.
It is.
Yeah, Tilly was 6 today, but we had that last Halloween. We missed out trick-or-treating because we tested positive for COVID.
Yeah. Her teacher's out. I think there were only 9 kids in her class today.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Oh, man. This stuff it just doesn't end, does it?
Nope.
I hope so. I hope before too long.
Yeah, we got an email that they want us back in the office September 22nd. And I'm like, Jacksonville is not in a good state right now. We got like COVID cases going up left and right.
Florida is a great state.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, why now? Like, we've been home for over a year. What is the rush now to make us go back?
Yeah. Like right now, because they insisted you have to come back to the office, and he's like, I think I'm good.
Hey, Alex.
Hey.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And somehow I just didn't come across it in all of your videos, but how do I sign up for Inktober?
Okay, I'm going to cover that tonight. So we'll talk through what's in the kit and what Inktober is. With our numbers ticking up, so I'll probably start in just a minute. I was just cutting. I bought a piece of cardstock in and I forgot to cut it. Can everyone see my desktop? Is that pinned for everyone in place? Okay, great.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You can join Valerie on YouTube or on Zoom. If you're here on Zoom, I'll be checking the comments. Maybe Bethany or Amanda could help me and check the YouTube comments just in case anyone does those, because I won't see those. It's hard to have both open.
I like Zoom better because you can talk. Can't talk on YouTube.
That's why we're going to try it. We're going to try it the holidays format and see how it goes. So
yeah.
I have my laptop on my Copic markers, and then I have this one over here. So you'll see the side of my head in a bit. But all right, I'm going to jump in. Michelle says, thank you to our Zoom. Email me the Zoom link since I didn't have it. You're very welcome. I don't know who that was, but thank you, everyone, for sharing it. So I'm going to mute everyone for now. We'll have some chit chat at the end. So welcome to Spirits. If this is your first time, we're going to make 4 cards with one awesome stamp set. We also do a couple of limited releases. We show you some exclusives. And this week is a special week because it is the Maker Forte first anniversary week. So officially, our birthday is on Wednesday. So Wednesday night, I'll also be live 7 p.m. and same time as this on YouTube. And I will be sharing with you some fun stuff. We've got some birthday surprises, giveaways, all sorts of fun things. So I'll be doing that on Wednesday. And then I'll be doing we've got some new products then as well. And I got some new stuff for you tonight, which is really cool as well. So tonight's stamp set, let me find where I put it, is we're going to use this Flirty Flamingos. Mine is already in my Misty, my 2 flamingos. But it has some fun sentiments in it. It has this wide element, and I'm going to show you how to use it on its own or together. So you can use the 2 together. If you don't have this stamp set, you can use something florally. You could use some other flamingos, but you really want something with some open space and a little bit of detail where we can sit and color in and things like that. Yes, Francine, Tilly's birthday and Maker Forte's birthday in the same week. It wasn't planned, but it's worked out great because it means I can recycle her birthday cake, which was Awesome. We got her a unicorn from Publix, and it's one of those that's filled with sprinkles in the center. So as I opened it, they all just went absolutely everywhere, which was really, really good fun. Okay, I'm going to just move this so I can move my laptop in a little bit more so I can see your comments as we go along. Look at that. Perfect. So we're back in the dream box. So for those of you who have already ordered this month for holidays, you will know about our new stencil shape. So this is our monthly freebie. If you ever place an order in a month over $35, we always give you a freebie. Sometimes it's a stamp, sometimes it's a stencil. This is this month's. You get a witch spotlight, and then all of these fit inside of there, which is really fun. And they are designed, they have little binder holes. They're designed to fit in these snap binders, which we have in the store. And we've been shipping them out as quickly as we can, like so. But somebody asked me, what do you do with your older stencils? So we've been playing around. You can get these inserts. We have them again in the store. These are the snap binder inserts. And I can't remember who it was, but someone had a great idea at holidays about putting colored cardstock or paper in. So you can put a piece in, and then you can fit two, what's one of the old ones? I grabbed it here. Stencils in one. You could put multiple in one, but if you wanted to have one at a glance, you can see you can put one on one side, and then you could put one on the back too, and have somewhere to store them. So you're going to notice when I show you our exclusive Lift Your Spirit stencils, that these all fit in the binder. So that's our new thing. So we wanted to make sure they have storage for them. And Bethany and I found this to be a really great solution. So let's look, first of all. So let's talk about Inktoberfest. So for those of you who have followed me for a while, you may know about Inktoberfest, you may not. I have done it for the last 4 years. We took last year off because we launched Maker Forte. I moved to Florida from Ohio. So we're coming back this year, and it always used to be that we had a different brand every single day. This year, we're going to feature just 2 or 3 different brands, but really kind of focus on the techniques to stretch your supplies. Now, if you want to join Inktoberfest, you can join it for free. You just hop on to the Hedgehog Hollow YouTube channel, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and you'll get a notification that at 7 p.m. Eastern every single night during October or Inktoberfest, you will get a video. We'll go live, it'll premiere, so you can set reminders. We'll upload 7 days at a time is the plan. And I will be there to chat with you. You can ask me questions and all those kinds of things. And every day we have different designers joining us. So it's not just my ideas. We have lots of fun things. So a different theme every day. I think Amanda sent out a cool calendar, or maybe it's upcoming this weekend. I can't remember. She sent it to me, and she's a calendar of the events. If you want to, there is an Inktoberfest bundle on the website, and I'll show you what the bundle includes. I have one right here. So first of all, you're going to get our new unreleased book, To Master Your Ink. So this is included in there, and it's 12 pages long, and it goes through every type of ink, what they work with, what they don't work with, what all the different types are, what you can do with your inks, all those kinds of things in there. So you get one of those. You also get a sheet of binder bling. So I can print 2 on a sheet. So you get half a sheet. I have print and cut every single one of these. They're really cute. And the idea is they're designed so that they can go on your binders. We call them binder bling. You could put them in your planners. You could do all sorts of things with them, but really they're fun. So you have our cute little color hives here. Let's get inky. We have a mascot this year for Inktoberfest, and her name is Molly. So you'll see her coming up in lots of different things. Do 1 inky thing a day. Maker's gonna make, stamp, blend, smush. Amanda designed these, and I think she did an awesome job. Like, I absolutely love these. They're so cute. So you'll see binder bling is a new thing. The one nice thing about Inktoberfest is you make a tag every day. So we don't make a full project, we make a tag so that you have a full tag ring. And I did have my old one here, but I must have moved it. No, I can't see it right now. But every day we make a tag. So at the end of the 31 days, you have 31, maybe more, because sometimes we do 2 or 3 tags, tags with your techniques on. So you can keep them by your craft space. In fact, maybe mine's where it should be. No, it's not. I have a little command hook on the Dreambox over there, and I put all my tag rings on them. So you can then build up and keep these around, refer back to them, and all those kinds of things as well. So you can see that there. And then you also get these exclusive Inktoberfest stencils. So there is one called I Put a Hex on You. And the other thing you'll notice with these new stencils is, see if I can catch the light a little bit, is they're engraved. So here and here, there's a little engraving in them. And it shows you if you want to center up your A2 cardstock. I have a whole part of it over here. That they're designed so you can center up your A2 cardstock. You can see, and it's perfectly centered on the stencil as well. I mean, you can pick other bits, but it's just a nice little guide that's on them. We have our cascading diamonds. This was going to look really pretty with some of the techniques you've got coming up, skewed dots and cascading dots. So the teachers will be using these in their classes as well, and showing you lots and lots of different ways. But you do not have to get the kit if you don't want to, but it's just one of those things that it will add to the experience and make sure you've got some of the things you need. And I was going to tell you some of, if I could find it. So just to give you an idea of some of the things we'll be talking about in Inktoberfest, I can give you a little sneaky peek. So we're going to talk about how to remove parts of a background, how to use reinkers on a gel press, how to smush, all about distress oxides, microglaze, layering inks when smushing, how to use foil as a resist, perfect blending, Joseph's coat, no line coloring with fog, all about archival ink. So you're going to learn a lots and lots of different tips and techniques throughout the month. So it's really fun. As I say, it's totally free to follow along and learn all those techniques. And if you want to, you can add the bundle as well. And it's free US shipping on the bundle. Each session is going to be like a 10 to 15 minute session. So they're going to be bite size. And the idea is you can come back to them anytime. And we'll add them to a playlist as well. So like the other Inktoberfest we've done in the past, there will be a playlist so you can refer back to it. Okay. So let's first of all dive into our first card, and I will share more treats with you throughout the evening. I have everything laid out on my desktop, so we're good to go. So I'm going to start with, I even did some prep work, this one here. So this is the card I'm going to start out with. This one here, I used California Love Reinker. I used Acid Wash. And I use Lime Wired. And you can really use any three colors. I'm just going to use a different three for this one, just to show you how different colors create the same effect. But it's really, really fun to do. And I like the fact it's a little bit quirky and different. We're going to need a water brush and some water, or a paintbrush and water, and 3 reinkers of your choice. I have already heat embossed. This is watercolor, Distress watercolor cardstock. Of all the watercolor cardstocks, it's my favorite. So much so I had to ring Bethany and say, can you add it to the store? And she dutifully obliged and didn't roll her eyes, I don't think. So she gets lots of those phone calls. Could you just add this to the store? Because it's really cool. But yeah, so I've just heat embossed this with clear embossing powder. This is our new embossing powder. It's not quite here yet, but I have been playing around with it, and I'll be sharing some more sneak peeks on that throughout the evening. And I make sure I have a spray bottle with water in. There you go, it's a Mr. Perfect. With some water. And if you have one, a craft mat is handy but not essential. Press and seal will work equally as well. Or if you don't mind cleaning up, then just use your glass mat or whatever surface you usually craft on. So I'm going to grab out a water brush and some kitchen towel. Now, a top tip for filling these water brushes up is if it doesn't open by turning one way and it starts like collapse on itself, just turn it the other way. I don't know, I can never get the lefty loosey righty tighty thing right. I think it depends which way you hold the pen up. And then if you take the nozzle of a spray bottle to fill it, it's way less messy than doing it over the tap. And if you've ever done this and tried to dribble water off the tap and you've had it all kind of come up and go all over you, you know, that's not such a fun thing to do. So I'm going to do that. So the way I did this was really, really simple. The one thing about watercolors that's really nice is they only go where there's water. So I started by just working on a section at a time, not too small of a section. I'm kind of doing all of this left flamingo's head and down his neck. So reasonably large section. And I'm just putting a light coat of water down. And pick whatever reinkers you want to play around with. I'm going to use some Rah Skirt, some acid wash, and some Purple Rain. This bit looks a little bit dry, so I'm going to move some more water in there. Make sure it looks reasonably even. And then literally I just picked some up on my paintbrush and dabbed it down. And you can see it kind of starts to bleed out, almost a little bit like alcohol inks in a way. And you know, I'm a pink girl, so I'm going to use pink as my mixer. And then just kind of start pulling that color out and swirling it like a marble. If you find it's a little bit dry, just add a droplet of water. And you see the second I put water in, it all starts kind of pulling together. Now, if you're doing it and you think that, oh my goodness, this is way too dark, I don't like this, then just spritz some water on, drop some water on, take your kitchen towel, blot it. And you can see I can pick up a huge amount of that color and I can kind of go back in and say, okay, so now I want to be a little bit lighter. I'm going to take some pink, some more blue, and the more water I add, I cut my one out so I don't worry if I get a little bit up here. I kind of like the vibrancy I had, but I wanted to show you that if you don't like what you've got, it's really easy to change it. And when I was doing the yellow and green one, I changed it a few times till I got kind of the balance I wanted with those funky colors. So if you do go over the lines, it doesn't matter. But your heat embossing is also going to hold everything within the lines a little bit. So I'm going to leave that one for a second and I'm going to work on this side. And again, just laying down some water. And on her, I'm just going to purposefully on her flower head, like a headdress here, I'm going outside the lines because I want to show you why I love this technique so much. Because it honestly can't go wrong. So again, I'm going to just pick up some dots. And just start. The nice thing about the watercolor paper is it won't buckle on you or any of those things. It just kind of plays along with whatever you throw at it. And if you don't like it, blot it off, start again. If you find it's not moving enough, try spritzing it with water too. That will get it moving for you. I love the way that pink kind of went in there. And I know it looks kind of a mess at the minute, but stick with me. It's worth it. So you can kind of see you've started to get those colors in there. I'm going to give this a quick dry, and I like using, for this technique, the Ranger Heat Tip tool. And the reason I like this is it has the same heat as your embossing tool, but it doesn't move your water around. So when you've got these really pretty patterns that you love and you don't want to lose them, this Ranger one doesn't move any of that around. So really here, I'm not trying to absorb the color. I just want to absorb a little bit of the excess moisture that I've got in here. And just kind of dry it out a little bit. But I do love the colors I've got. I'm going to pick these up because I don't think I need any more colors right now. It's a good dry. And do the back too. So it's just as hot, so be careful, it does get pretty hot. Then you want to find a clean piece of your kitchen towel. I'm going to just turn mine around to get to a clean-ish piece. And I'm going to spritz my kitchen towel with water. And I'm going to polish my piece. And you can see now those heat embossed lines that I had on there all pop out. So now you've got that lovely resist in there. And I just went in, I waited for mine to dry on my sample, but I just went in and I cut her pieces out just like this. I'll kind of do this one, it's quicker. But the nice thing, cutting it out really kind of makes it pop, I thought. I'm not very good at talking and cutting. Apparently it takes a lot of concentration. But you can see that when you cut it out, you could then do the same thing as this. Add those on there. You could even mix and match, but I really like the way it looks. And by cutting it out, you get that really lovely, clean kind of line around her headdress. And I use 2 neon blue acid wash gems for their eyes to really pop those out. For these, you might want to pick the blue again, just to kind of pick out that color. And then I just added a couple of coordinating colors in her headdress. So super simple, easy to do with re-inkers. You could also do it direct from the ink pads, just that re-inker has so much pigment in it. It comes out with a really, really lovely effect. And that's your first card. I kind of need another table. I can't tell Greg I need another table, it'll kill me. Funny enough, I am a lefty, Lisa, but I cut right-handed. I eat right-handed, I knit right-handed. I do quite a lot, almost ambidextrous, but not quite. So that is our first card. So again, easy, but so effective. And I I think actually I kind of like as much as I'm a pink and blue girl, I actually really like these kind of funky colors. So yeah, so that's that. Okay, let's talk about your pre-release. So if you do the subscriptions for the silhouettes or for the inks or for the simple sayings, you always get a preview here at Lift Your Spirits. And I'm going to grab myself out a piece of white cardstock here. So your 3 colors for this month so well are tartan teal, which is the most beautiful green color, perfect for the holidays. Hyde Park, which is one of our most popular cardstocks I think we've released, and Coral Keys. Again, a beautiful, like that pinky, orangey coral color. So let's swatch them out. So you have Hyde Park, you have tartan teal, and this one will dry up to be a really beautiful color in a second. Looks kind of dark when you start out. And then the coral, again, it dries. Your colors on here are pretty representative of what they will dry up to be. So when you're kind of working out coordinations and things, then you've got those in there too. So they are your colors for this month. You can see they all go together lovely. You can do some great holiday cards. You've got the spring coming up, you know, full colors. They kind of those nice all-round colors as well. So they will be your ink colors. Your simple sayings will be, and I'm going to need Bethany's help because I didn't print them out and bring them with me. So we have transitions, which is all about life changes and transitions. We have celebrations, so all kinds of different celebrations and life events. And then we also have a holidays one, but it's about all kinds of holidays. So it has Happy Hanukkah on it. It has Happy Kwanzaa on it. Merry Christmas, Happy Winter. Just a little smattering of everything that's coming up during the winter months so that you can use them on all of those kind of holiday cards that are coming up. So they will be your 3 simple sayings. And your silhouette stamp, literally the plate for it arrived today. So I haven't had a chance to make them. I don't have one yet, but isn't it gorgeous? It's Mama and Papa Bear, or husband and wife bear, or grandma and grandpa, whatever you want them to be, polar bears, brown bears. You can play around with these to your heart's content. It's going to be so much fun. Hey, Carrie. Yes, they are bears. I can't wait to send them out. Carrie's dad was a big bear fan. So every time we do bears, I always think of Carrie. But yes, so this will be your silhouette this month with the matching stencil, and I can't wait to play around with it. So they just arrived today. I mustn't lose it because we actually have to make those tomorrow. Okay, let's dive into another card. I think we'll do this one. This is a fun one. So we're going to use this really cool chalkboard technique. So I was playing around with a couple of new products, and I love how this came out. So I actually was going to make this beautiful gold, and I ended up leaving it in just in like the silhouette. I love how that came out, but you could totally emboss it gold too. It's just a fun way to do it. So that's what we're going to create. You're going to need some clear ink and some Clips black cardstock. And then I'm going to put this in and line it up. I happen to know I had to line it up with the My Sweet Petunia here. That was kind of my reference point to myself. I have no idea what they're chit-chatting about out there. Press this down, smush. I'm going to do that once more. I always find it hard to see, and I never want to miss it, so I always do it twice with clear. So I'm just stamping with clear. Nothing Okay, that's a pretty good impression, I think. Okay, will do. And I'm going to be using the new Distress Frosted Crystal. So we did add this to the store. We've ordered it from Ranger. I've lost. And I'm going to use a piece of scrap paper. This piece of. I'm going to pour this on top. So it's like an embossing powder, but it's kind of neat, the effect it gives. And oh, I should have turned the fan off. I didn't think of that. So it looks white when you put it down like this. Ah. I'll move that to the side and fix it later. So I did a card. Oh goodness. Okay. I didn't do very well on this. Let's just have a quick clean up. Hopefully I'm not the only one who spilled their embossing powder everywhere. Quick clean up. Okay. And this is a card I made. This is a background I made with Eileen Hull's vintage damask. And I put frosted crystal all over the top of it. You can't really see it, but maybe you can kind of hear it. It has like this cool, frosted crystal kind of effect on top. You can ink blend on top. You can smush on top. You can build up layers. You can use your crayons on top. You can just leave it as like this cool, like frosted top on it. You can do some really cool things, and you can do this chalkboard technique with it. So I'm going to, Bethany, when will Eileen's stuff be back in stock?
We're probably looking at late October.
So the way you know that this is cooked is it goes clear. Just the size of quite cooked. So late October, it'll be back in stock. And once we know a date, we'll open up a pre-order so that you can all know. We'll make sure we send out an email so you know. But this is kind of cool. Even on its own, you can see it just has this really cool silhouette in the back here. So you can play away. We already did night night.
Yeah, we need to do second mummy night night.
Excuse me. Mummy night night. Good night.
Especially birthday special second mummy night night.
Sweet dreams. See you in the morning.
Come on, you.
Sorry for the interruption. But so I'm just going to take here. So this is regular Crayola school chalk, nothing like fancy. And I'm literally going to use the side of it and cover my cardstock. I can tell you, Tilly had a lot of fun making these. We've played around a lot. And that still looks cool because it highlights. But all I did was I wanted to soften it out. So you can lay down as much or as little chalk as you want, depending on how intense you want it to be. But imagine doing this with Boo to You, or, some of those really cool kind of stamps. I spritzed mine with hairspray, and it worked great just to fix it, but you don't have to. But before you fix it, you want to do this. So you want to do your next layer. Okay, I have mine here. Where is it? So I decided to use this Be Beautiful stamp across it. And I'm going to grab a second Misty from the bottom. To the side. So I just put this in. Here's my top trick. If you don't know if your stamp is clean or not, grab the acetate that's on the back of your stamp and then lay it over the top and put your stamp on. I'm actually going to want to move this up a little bit. So it doesn't matter now what's on my stamp. I can lay this down, move it around as much as I want. It doesn't affect anything that's underneath it. Pick it up. And then I used my Color Hive Clear. Oh, it's the easiest chalkboard technique in the world. And I love it. And it looks so effective. And this bit is really fun too. So as I say, I was going to do this. And my initial plan, I can't remember where I put this, Be Beautiful. Okay, I can put it on here. My initial plan was to heat emboss this with our new gold mirrored embossing powder we have coming. And then I did this, and you'll see why I wanted to stop. So I just put it down. And I just loved how it gave me that clean look. It picked up the chalk, and I was kind of done at that point. And then I added the Always. So that same set, you have an Always and You Are. So you can add that in. So if you want to, you can add a You Are right here. Fits perfectly. And again, just add the clear. And that clear ink will just act as a glue. It picks up the chalk and it's on that. Yeah, so this is Distress Frosted Crystal Embossing Powder. It's new from Ranger. We have it being added to the store. Bethany has it in tonight's collection for you. And you can pre-order it as we all have pre-ordered it. And as soon as it comes in, we'll ship it out to you. But it adds this super cool technique and it just picks it up like that. So I just loved how that ended up coming out, and I decided to not do any gold, but I think the gold will look equally as beautiful. I did before I finish this, I did just quickly heat dry the clear with my heat tool. Just, it stops going glossy. It goes back to, you know, just like matte black, like the Eclipse cardstock. And then I knew it was kind of safe and good to go. But you don't have to fix it. I did one the other day. I think this one I didn't fix. And I can still rub my fingers across it and it stays clean. And I tried one that I sent out to someone and I fixed that one. So you can pick what you want to do. And that's it. So super cool technique, really, really easy, really effective, and you can have lots of fun. I also want to say about doing colored chalk. I think that would look fab too. Metallic chalk. I need to go to Target and buy all the chalk. I just haven't been out there yet. So there is another technique. So that's our second card. I just find myself a table. This one will do. Okay, let's move this one out the way. I showed you my Frosted Crystal card. What should we work on next? Let's talk about, well, I have 3 other ideas, if you haven't seen them, to use this stamp set. So kind of the traditional way I think people see this stamp set is lots of coloring. You know, there's beautiful kind of flamingo colors. I think Carrie made this one here. Emily made this one on here. Emily Hessler. She did an awesome job. I love this too. And Liz made this one here in the office. I love how she did this. She used the little clay slices And she just had fun coloring. We were sitting here the other day and she was just sitting here coloring as well. The stencil in the background of this one, I think, is Unbelievable, and she did it twice. Is that right, Carrie? Looks like Unbelievable. Yeah. So it's Unbelievable in the background here. On there too. So some fun ideas. And I have some other samples here we can have a quick look at. So these just came from Emily in Sweden. So they always take a bit longer to get here, but they're always so worth it. So she sent me pumpkin spice. So this is using that pumpkin spice and everything nice stamp set. I love the colors she used. I think they're really fun. And I love the spotlight of that in the middle. This is using Room on the Broom. Isn't that cool? I love all the shades in there too, and the handles and things, the way she created a background with that. I feel like this could be fire too. You could make it into bits of fire. This one is using the, oh my goodness, it's Jess's stamp set. I can't remember the name of it. Jess's autumn one. Is it the Bear With Me one, Bethany? Yeah, Bear With Me. And she made a shaker using the stars, which I think was really fun. And she cut up some of the leaf elements in here, and you can see they will move around. So that's cool too. Here is Things That Go Flap in the Night. I love the way she swiped the ink. So she swiped her stamp with different colors to give her this really cool effect. Like, look at all the texture in that. Isn't that fun? Like, it kind of looks ghouly, bewitched, exactly as she stamped on there. I love that on there. So she used splatters on here, and then Things That Go Flap in the Night, and some little bats from Carlsbad Cavern. And she swiped the ink across the stamp to give you that really cool effect on there too. And here I have, this is the pumpkin spotlight with the, I can't think of my words, the cobweb stencil. And you've got Carlsbad Cavern in the background here that she did with some gold glitz gel. So fun. Look at that. I think it's so effective too, to give you all of that. So love it. Caught in my web. Thank you, Bethany. We have this one, Fall Is My Favorite After You, of course, from Jess Francisco stamp set as well. Again, lovely colors. I mean, like the shading and stuff she's got in here is stunning, and it's done with alcohol markers, it looks like. So I love how she's done that one too. You can see the mirror of the Fall Is My Favorite in the background. And another Fall Is My Favorite. And I love how she took the buds of each of these and put gems on them to give it all that. Can you see all that sparkle and bling as I move it around? And this beautiful blended pastel background using our color hives. And then she used water to pull a lot of the ink back out to give you that really kind of muted effect. So that's gorgeous. And one more, she used the Pop the Cork stencil with some iridescent glitz gel and the Blustery Day stencil. And I love how the two come together because she blended the background, then blended the Blustery Day, and then the iridescent glitz gel, because it's water-based, it reacts with the water in the ink and kind of pulls out a little bit of that color. So you get all that iridescence, but it also picks up some of the color in the card as well. So I think that's kind of cool. So there's some fun things to share with you. Next up, let's start out with our easy monochrome card. This is the one we're going to make first. This is the easy version, and then we're going to up the ante and do a little bit more of a more complex version. But again, this is beautiful, and you're going to be surprised how easy it is. When I was in New York at the stationery show, I met a company, and I'll tell you a little bit of history about them because it's kind of cool. And they do these pencils, and they're amazing. I literally used one pencil. You can do this whole piece with one pencil, and obviously some colors, but I actually only used 2 colors up here to give me this. I'm going to show you how to do that too. And I happened to use 2 pencils because I was just playing around with the different leads. But tonight, I'm going to show you what they are. So let's take our stamp again. And I've got my cardstock. This piece is a little bit bigger. Make sure it's gonna, yep. I'm gonna use my Remarkable Black. Mission. See how we did. And I'll do once more. This black needs a re-ink. You can see it's not as juicy as it once was. Why my flowers aren't stamping out. Either miss them. There we go. A little bit of extra pressure. So you can see you get a lovely crisp image. And I'm gonna leave that open because we're gonna need it again. So I'd never heard of these. You may know them. They're called Black Wing pencils. They come in a box like this. You get 12 in a box. And they apparently have a huge heritage that goes back like 60 plus years. It says, Black Wing pencils were used by award-winning creators throughout the 20th century. In the 90s, they were discontinued and people were paying $40 for a single pencil. And then there's these guys out in, I think they're in Colorado or California. They were super nice. He was so nice. He spent so much time with us. And he bought the Black Wing brand and decided to make them and bring them back. They are made with California incense cedar and Japanese graphite. And sales also benefit music and art programs in schools. They come in different leads. So I have the black one here and I have the white one. They are both the same color. As I say, I can't remember which I used, but one is one and one was the other. And the difference is the softness. Now, I personally really like the white, but I like them both. And you can see you can get great results. I'm going to show you how to, I'm going to do 1 and 1 again, just because they're so easy to work with. They also had this super cool pencil sharpener. That's actually the reason I went to their booth, was I saw this pencil sharpener. I'm going to empty mine out. I was using it. I'm hooked on them. I'm absolutely hooked. We have them in the store. Bethany has added them. I have them. We have ordered them. I have them in my hand already. They're ready to ship. So this pencil sharpeners, they come in black and white. They're exactly the same pencil sharpener. One side says on here, it says 1 wood, 2 graphite. So you sharpen, I'll start one off to show you. So you start here with the wood and you sharpen it down to the bottom. And so you end up with this spiral on the graphite. And then you put it in number 2, which is graphite. And it really doesn't take much off. It's literally like a tiny shaving and a couple of turns. And you have this beautiful pointed pencil. Now, I have tried this with my Prismas. I've tried it with my Poscas, which I'm going to use tonight. It works on every pencil. It makes a beautiful tip and it colors amazingly. So I love this pencil sharpener too. The erasers on the top actually pop out and you can put colored ones in. You can replace them. You can see they just come out like this. And you have all of that to work with. So as the eraser goes down, you just, move it further out the metal piece and you keep doing that as well. So the eraser keeps going. These are like my absolute favorite pencils. I now write in my notebook in pencil, just so I get to write with one of these all day. I really love working with them. And I'm not usually a pencil person, but look at the shading we're gonna get with one of these. Like, it's so pretty. So I started off, now I am not an artist, so I let Alex, who designed these stamps, kind of guide me. So I started off by just going over the solid areas. I also ended up going over the beak because it makes it all blend together nicely. And then I started light. And one thing I found with these is it's really easy, just a little bit of pressure and you start to lay down more graphite. And also if you start coloring over the same spot just for a little bit longer, you really can layer that color down. So you can see there how I started to get that shading in the beak. So if you've ever wanted to practice your alcohol markers, this is a great way to start practicing that flicking. Of course, you can also rub it out and do it again. And you can layer it over and over and over, which is really nice. So I'm just going to add a little bit of shading around here. And then go in light. They're so smooth. So this one here is the pearl, and the pearl is the balanced graphite. And in a second, I'll use the black, which is the soft graphite. I would say if you've got a heavy hand, the balanced is great. If you have a nice light touch, then the soft is really, really lovely to work with. And I do think it's worth also practicing. So I kind of started again, just kind of letting her illustration guide me. Using the side of the pencil is really nice too. Making sure my head wasn't in the way too much. And so I kind of went darker. And then to finish off my actual sample on here, I took my eraser and just kind of streaked down, and it adds like this little feathering to it. It also said the balance is a little bit more gray, and the soft is probably a little bit darker, which you'll see in a second. So to do the feathering on their back, I did the same thing. I outlined, just kind of roughly, almost like in a coloring motion. You see it's not straight. And then I went very softly in between. And I layered so very soft all over that bit of plumage. And then I layered a little bit extra just to blend in the kind of scribbles I did. Now, I am not an expert by any means. This has just been me playing around with them. And I didn't know until I did some research into the brand that this is the pencil that every Bugs Bunny was drawn with. And there's a couple of other kind of famous illustrators and things who've illustrated with these. So they kind of have a fun heritage to them as well. Kim says it'd be great to adding a drop shadow to alcohol marking. Yeah, absolutely. And these are a couple of how fast this is going. I mean, look, I've just colored that whole thing and it took me a couple of minutes, maybe not even that. So again, I'm going to use the black on this one just so you can see the difference. You definitely can feel the difference. And I kind of have fun doing both. So I'm adding a little bit of shadow more where the beak is. And around the curve of the head. This is going to be darker. So with this is the soft, you can see it lays down more of a charcoaly kind of effect, whereas this one was more of a precise pencil effect. So there is definitely a difference between them. But as I say, I kind of like the effect that both give. They're just different. And it's such quick coloring. I'm going to show you in a minute how to do it with alcohol markers. But this is just so easy. And you can just kind of, you know, add highlights with your eraser that's in there. It's only the same thing again. Just the rough coloring over those lines kind of gave me that feathery effect. Definitely want a little bit of darker curve. Actually, on this guy, I'm going to add just a little bit more. You can see they kind of complement each other too. And that's it. That's literally how I colored those in, and it takes no time at all. I thought the same thing, Tanya. I don't know what Gamsol will do. So let's try it, because I'm going to be using it on the Poscas too. Poscas, I'm not sure. But we'll try it out and see. Okay, so these are my Posca pencils. These are nice because they come in a tin and they don't take up too much space. So I ended up using 2 colors. I'm going to choose a different 2 colors just because, why not? I'm going to choose out, oh, they don't have names, I forgot. Oh, number 6 and number 66. Yeah, 66. They also come with a little band that holds them all together, which is kind of nice. So the way I colored these in was, again, the easy way. So I'm just going to turn this way out because I'm lefty. So I do kind of cover everything up. So I used my pencils at its sharpest and literally just kind of outlined the flower. And I used a heavy pressure to give me that bold line. Let's find all the outlines of our petals. So just, I love sitting and coloring, but I usually don't have the time to sit and do the kind of coloring that I want to do. So I find the kind of hacks to do it a little bit faster. That. So I'm just using kind of a sharp edge, and you'll notice I keep rotating my pencil because as one edge dulls, it naturally sharpens another edge, and I can just keep using that. These are nice. They're a nice kind of soft-ish pencil. They're the ones we ended up ultimately adding to the store just because they had a nice availability of colors. You can use any colored pencils. And then with a very light pressure on the side of my pencil on one of the dull sides, I just very lightly filled in. Now in small areas like this, that's naturally going to give you enough light and shade that the eye kind of is drawn to it. So you can see again, quick and easy, but it gives you a nice lot of kind of pop and detail and those kinds of things as well. Then I'm going to do the same with the green. Is I'm going to just basically just vary my pressure a little bit to give me some lights and outs. I'm just kind of going down one side of the leaf hard and the other side of the leaf with a softer touch. Like up one side really hard, down the other side nice and soft. And so really you can achieve a lot with these colored pencils and with all colored pencils, just by varying your pressure a little bit. I'm gonna go back in. Gray. Just fill in between the leaves a little bit. I didn't do that initially on my first one, and I just felt that it didn't quite look right. So I went back in and it made a big difference to just kind of fill those areas in a little bit with the gray. Because you would still see her feathers kind of peek through regardless. And then if you want to, you can grab your Gamsol. This is our little Gamsol kit. Comes with coloring instructions, different ways to use Gamsol. Comes with a sharpener to clean and sharpen your pencil stamps. And a bottle of Gamsol. And it's nice because it has a little like foamy on top. So you can just kind of dab your stubs in and not have to like get any Gamsol out. But the nice thing is it turns your pencils and just smooths them out. So just kind of go over. And if there's any areas you've missed or there's maybe like a thin area you want to fill in, you can do that too. But it just smooths all these out. I'm going to try the black area in a second. I'm just doing the red. The green is a little bit small on this. So I'm not going to worry about it. Like so. And then, so if you always wonder what the little pad was for, it cleans and sharpens your paper stamp. Just like that. I'm going to take the Gamsol and we're going to try it on the black. As I say, I haven't tried it yet, so we're going to do that together. Oh yeah, it definitely works. It pulls out a lot of that lead, you can see. I'm having to be really light because otherwise I could end up with a very dark flamingo. So I can just use it dry. So yeah, you absolutely can use the Gamsol. You can see how intense that side becomes from using the Gamsol. And it will lighten up a little bit, I guess, as it dries, but I don't think it'll lighten up a huge amount. So it really does make a difference. It kind of intensifies everything you've already done. So yeah, it's a fun, we'll do this side now. Greg, that's Maddie's. So I'm going to kind of do him a bit sketchy, because otherwise I think he's going to come out just a little too intense for what I was aiming for. But I feel like if I do one, I kind of have to do the other. You can tell I'm concentrating. So that's kind of how that, you know, effect comes out. So you can see these come out a lot darker. This dried up a little bit. It's a little bit lighter, but it definitely will intensify your coloring. And just pull it through just so everything looks. I'm avoiding her eye because I'm going to pull that in. I'm going to intensify the shading on his beak because I kind of feel that looks a bit dark, a bit light. And you can see a little bit of Gamsol also goes a really long way. So there's my little things. And I'm going to just take my eraser into their eyes. I can bring it back to that really pure white so their eyes pop. You could add a little bit of color if you wanted to. You can add a gem like I did earlier. But that is how I did that. And then I heat embossed the UR on a piece of black and the beautiful at the bottom there and just added those little finishing touches. But again, a super quick, simple, easy way to add shading for a monochrome effect. I'm going to up the ante on the next card. We're going to do a different monochrome effect. We're going to do it with alcohol markers. But this is just so much quicker. And it's a great way to start with that kind of black and white effect on there too. So Christine wants to know if the tips are hollow or solid of the pencils. I don't know. I'm guessing they must be solid just because of the way they're done. I very much doubt, because when I do the, when you file it right down to that point, oh, the Gamsol blending stuff. I think they're solid. Because you can keep, yeah, they're definitely solid. Some of the ones I've had before, you can squish in the middle and they blend. But yeah, yeah, I would say they're solid. Okay, so let's try some more techniques. I also have some more things to share with you. We have, of course, our exclusive Lift Your Spirit stencils. And you can see then in their bigger size, they're going to fit in your binders or however you like to store them. And I really love some of the designs. We've got this one, not that I never do, but this one is really different. It's called Juxtaposed. Oh, the other cool thing is they now have the name in this corner up here. It's engraved. It's a bit harder for you to see on the video, but it's engraved up here. So you will always have the names to know what stencils you've got. Again, it has the engraving so you can center out, but I kind of just love, Bethany designed this one. I showed her a picture of something I really liked and she created this, and I love how it all ended up, like kind of the delicate flower and then the harsh kind of squareness behind it. Somebody asked me about the sharpener is separate. Yeah, so you can pick the sharpener, and the black and the white sharpener are the same, they're just different colors. Yes, this is one of your Lift Your Spirit. So these are exclusive. If you come to Lift Your Spirit, you have access to an awesome collection. Bethany will pop the link down for you in a second. And you can either get them as a bundle or you can get them individually. So I'll show you these. This one is Sketch Mosaic, and it makes the most beautiful backgrounds. I can't wait to share this with you. We'll be using these all on Wednesday night. So if you want to grab them, we'll ship them. And if you're lucky, they may even be there for those of you who are a little bit closer to us. This one is called Overly Attached. Again, it looks great because you can use it any time of the year, but it also makes some really cool holiday effects. And I'm going to show you ways to mirror it and things and turn it around, and it comes out really, really cool as well. We have Trifecta, which is fun because you have these here, which also on its own, it makes a really cool background and you can turn it and mirror it and do all sorts of things. And then you have 3 fun textures that you can overlay. And now that they're on the same, it's so easy to do. They have an engraved edge around the triangles so that when you've stenciled this down, you just take this wherever you stenciled the triangle and you just lay this down and it fits perfectly. It's really, really fun to do as well. So that's Trifecta. And let's come back in. And you can also get the pieces for the triangle. So if you want to mask off a piece of the triangle and do different colors, you can do that. We have this one is Complete the Square. And again, it's just fun. Like I love these really kind of fun designs and things you can do lots of stuff with because you can use these and make them highlight fun sentiments. You can foil parts. This looks amazing foiled. I'll just tell you, it's like one of my favorite foiled ones. So it's really, really fun to do as well. Yeah, it's a little bit retro. It's really fun. And we have our first layering stencil. This one is called Striped Dots. There will be a special layering tool coming. I forgot to tell Bethany about that to add it to her spreadsheet, but I have designed a layering tool so that you can line all of these up perfectly. And you can see here how this one's going to come together. So you've got the solid dots with a little bit of stripe, and then you have your other stripes and your solids. And of course, you could use either one of these individually, or you can use, and you can use them in any order. That's the cool thing. So you could have this one, and then this one, or this one, and then this one. It really doesn't matter what order you do them in. It's just nice that you can do them in 2 separate colors. So that's really fun. So they're your exclusive stencils. And if you are enjoying tonight, drop me a comment, leave me a thumbs up. If you're watching over on YouTube, let us know, because next month we're going to be doing a little bit different. Normally we have 1 6x8, but next month we're going to be using 2 4x6 stamp sets. So we're going to be using the the Nordic Ornament Builder, get my words out. And then we'll also be using the Tough Nut to Crack. So of course we have tons of fun techniques coming up. I'm going to be showing you some top tips to work with layering stamps with our little nutcracker on here. I'm going to be sharing some ways to use the Kringles Gingerbread Bakery. We're going to be exploring more of the watercolor concept and how you can turn other stamps into these watercolors as well. So you'll be able to use both of these. And again, we'll make 4. I may even stretch it and make it a little bit more, but definitely 4 cards, if not more. And the girls will be on vacation with their grandparents. So it's going to be great fun. Hopefully they make it over here. So fingers crossed they'll be here and we'll be having lots of fun with that as well. So now I want to share my last card with you, which is this one. You can sign up for next month's Lift Your Spirits now. As I say, you never have to have the stamp set. If you want to and you want to craft along with us, you absolutely can. But there are only a limited number of these 4x6 stamp sets because originally we were going to have a different stamp set. And we had photopolymer in general. You'll find lots of companies are really struggling to get their photopolymer stamp sets. So here we are and we're making it work. All right, let's grab my Misty back. Now there are 2 ways to do this card. You can either do what I'm about to do, stamp her and cut her out, or you can take some masking tape or our masking Post-its and you can mask off his beak and have a clean image. Either works. I decided to just do the easy way out and ink her up. I was making sure I was using clear. Not using clear. I had a feeling I picked up my clear ink pad and I was about to have black all over it, but I didn't, so we're good. So I'm going to stamp her out. Make sure all of her beak is on there. The new release for October, I believe the official release date will actually be November 1st. But if you're at holidays, you'll get access to it that weekend. So you'll get first dibs. So if anything's sold out, then you can blame all of your holidays, compadres. And our end of September release, Bethany, I can't remember when that officially is. Greg's parents arrive at the end of this month and Alicia's here. And I have to say, I'm more focused on those right now. Poor Bethany's kind of having to manage the release, but she does an awesome Awesome thing. Okay, so here is my lovely lady. We're going to color her in just how I did on here. I actually did this with 4 pens. Now you can choose any 4 pens you like. You can even do it with 3 pens and it still comes out great. And it doesn't have to be black and white. So I was saying about this the other night. I'm just moving my laptop for a second. I want to pick out some shades of blue just to show you that it doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be black and white or any of those things. I'm actually going to pick. So if you do Copics, I'm going to use B12, B14, B16, B18. So I'm just using, so for instance, you want to go B1 and then kind of choose 3 or 4 within that. Or you can pick, so for this one, I use C0, C2, C4, and C6. And I think I flecked a bit of C8 just in right at the end and some of the flowers. But really, you can use any 4 tones. So if you have Spectrum Noirs, if you have tri-blends, you could use just one tri-blend to do this. Really just kind of have fun and play around with it. So the first thing I do is I pick whatever area I want to work on. And I know that I was going to cut her out. Was my kind of plan. So I go in with my lightest shade. And my usual plan is to kind of color. This is kind of dark for my lightest shade, but it's okay. Then I go to my next shade. This is my B14. And I kind of outline where I know I want those dark areas to be. Hi, Greg.
I'm going to put the film on and start a bottle of wine. Is that okay?
I guess so.
How long are you going? Is it going well?
Is
Is everybody out there enjoying it? Hey, look, you see all the waves and smiley faces. That's so cool. Hey, everyone. All right, love you.
Okay. Are you making me dinner?
I wasn't going to.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Well, you don't like anything I cook because you don't like cheese.
That's true. Guess I'll make my own dinner when I'm done. Okay. So before I go in with my middle shade, I'm going to go in with my dark. And I want to also just mention something that just happened, and I don't mean Greg. Okay, so when I was going with my second shade, you notice it kind of went a bit blobby and out the lines. That is because this one is full of ink. If you have pens that are full of ink, be sure to open both caps and you'll find you have a lot less issues with blobbing and those kinds of things. That's something to do with pressure. I probably should have asked Greg. He would have been the perfect person to explain it to us. But there's her beak. And I'm going to now go into her face. This one I'm going to have to remember tonight that she really needs this one to be open. So there's those flicking techniques that I've talked about when we've done our Hollow Days alcohol marker coloring. So I skip that kind of third shade and then I just use it if I need to. This is my darkest shade. And I'm going to outline the flowers because they would cause quite a heavy shadow on her face, really. But I will still soften that edge a little bit. This is my lightest. And now really kind of pull those colors together. Now I'm not coloring on top of any kind of paper like I normally do, only because I know I'm going to cut her out. So it really doesn't matter if she bleeds outside the lines a little bit. But you can see how that kind of shading is starting to come together. And so I'm now going to go down I did the flowers last, but because I'm doing one shade, it really doesn't matter if I go over a bit of foliage or something with my base color. Greg, they said you should get me a drink. An Aperol Spritz.
Is that an Aperol Spritz?
No.
What is it?
Google it.
What?
Google it. He's going away tomorrow, so at least he can just make me a drink. Okay, so I'm going to start. And I know I'm also going to cut off the bottom of her a little bit. So I start by adding quite a lot of that second shade, particularly up the neck, because you want that real shadow in there. And also up amongst these flowers. They're going to be pretty dark and shadowy around her. Remember, if you put your pen nice and upright, you'll get a nice fine line. And then we'll go to our darkest shade. Yeah, there's an open one and the small mini one in the side of the fridge. So there's her neck. And again, this is really, really easy to do. Someone said, who said it? Raylene says, I want to color like you. I am not an expert colorist. I've taken a few classes, but it really is just about practice. And if I showed you some of my practice pieces, yeah, they're not so hot. And it's funny because Maddie loves to draw and she's a great artist. She did not get that gene from me. I think she got it from my granddad. He could draw. But she's always moaning about the coloring side. She doesn't like the time I think it takes. So I come out and I'm like, oh, I practiced my coloring. And she's like, Mom, just go away. So we can't all be good at everything. That's what I tell her. She's good at many things. One thing I really like, particularly when I'm doing the monochromatic, is I don't like it to be too streaky. So I really lay down lots and lots of that base color, and that helps me get those tones in there really nicely. And the only reason I'm leaving that one open like this all the time is to remind me that it has to have both lids off because it's full of ink. So I'm starting off just by kind of outlining with that second shade. And I know that I kind of want that area to be darker. And by doing it with my second shade, I'm not really committing to anything. So now I know, like, no, this needs to be darker. I know here needs to be dark. So then I kind of pick the side of the feather that I want to be dark. Thank you.
Yeah, well.
So I decided that like the top side of my feathers were going to be dark. And then I'm going to use that third shade for the downstroke on my feathers to give it a little bit of coloring and start merging everything together. Now I'm adding a little bit of that feathery fluff. And then I'm going to use that base color to mold it all back together. You see how that starts to pull it all together and give you that kind of shading in there. Lots of lights and darks. And if it gets too dark and you don't like something, remember that colorless blender is not really a blender. It's more of an eraser. So if I was to take my blender and work on her neck, you see it starts to pull some of that color out. So that's really all this does. So if I wanted to add a little bit of texture in here, maybe lighten up something, that's really what that blender's for. So I can pull a lot of that color back out if I want to. I'm actually going to fill a little bit of it back in, just because it needs that the shading in there. So you can see she's starting to come together. Now I'm going to color in her hair or a headdress or whatever this is. Her crown. And because again, I know I'm cutting her out, I'm not being too careful on her base coat, but I am making sure I lay down a nice amount of ink. And I also want these flowers to be quite contrasty, because when I did, where's my test one that I did? Where did she go? I lost her. Yeah, she is. You can notice I did these more contrasty so that it really kind of made the whole thing like pop. So I'm actually going to put the lids back on this one. I'm going to go straight to that third shade, and that's where I'm really going to start bringing that color in. And again, same deal as when we kind of did it with the colored pencils, is I really with tight areas like this, like the flower, I just outline it and it already suddenly like just starts to pop really, really nicely. And it's a really easy way of adding some texture and color. And I'm not, you can see I'm not slowing down. I'm really doing it quite sketchy. So there's bits that are thick, there's bits that are thin. And just by doing the outlining, all of a sudden my flowers now look pretty realistic. And I don't have to do a ton of complex shading. Now, if you love the realistic effect, you absolutely can. But if you just want to add the hint that makes the eye think, oh yeah, they're flowers, they've got some color and texture in, this is a great way to do it. And by being fast, you'll naturally get thick and thin pen strokes and you don't have to think about them. So I'm going to outline just the flowers for a second. Go back to that base B12. Soften the edges. And remember, when it dries, it will lighten up, as this did down here. So you can see all of a sudden she's starting to kind of get that together. And then for the foliage, I'm going to be bold and I'm going to use a lot of that really dark B18. And again, I'm outlining one side of my leaf, just one. And I'm concentrating, so I'll be right back with you. And I'm kind of just adding some drama into her, because I kind of feel with a headdress like that, she might be a little bit of a drama queen. And then let's go back to our B14. And I'm just picking a few areas And really all I do is like these little like figure of eights. I don't really know how else to describe them. And I find they add just a little bit of texture. I'm going to blend in all of the colors here. And then that's literally it. I would just cut her out and she would be my blue Mingo. So you can see how that comes out. And then that's the black version. For the background, this is a technique I taught at camp. We just took some die cut adhesive, the Easy Cut, covered a white piece of cardstock and used up our cardstock scraps, all those bits you trim off of cardstock, and stuck them in. And I did it like in an ombre rainbowy type of pattern and created that. And so I just mounted her on top. I did cheat when I cut her out. I'll show you. I did this. So I cut her down to about here and then went back up. And obviously I cut her out, but then I laid that piece of Gorgeous across the bottom. So I don't know where she is, about here. So then I didn't have to worry about cutting the bottom piece. I covered it up. So I just did that super easy. So you can see cut her out. A little bit rough and crude, but and you could maybe do an ombre background. For this one, you might want a grayscale background because that blue is kind of quite bold and in your face. But you could use different shades of gray, or you could do a black and white stripe. You could do all sorts of stencil. So you can see, so I stuck her down and then added that strip across the bottom that I stamped the Gorgeous on. And I didn't have to worry about cutting her out all the way down. It was super simple and easy. So that's how I made her, and that's how you do monochrome coloring. So that takes a little bit longer than doing it with the colored pencils, but they're all great techniques. They're all easy to do. They're definitely things you can all do either with supplies in your craft room or using the Flirty Flamingos. So some other surprises we had. So I showed off in one of my lives a couple of cards I've made. Let me show you. I'll clear off my desk here. I should have a sip of this considering Greg made it. He did a pretty good job. Oh, in typical Greg style, it's pretty strong. So I made these 4 Halloween cards using our cobwebbed corners. So this one here, look how like glistening. It looks like one glistening in the morning dew. Isn't that fun? This one here, look how cool this is. This one is a little bit of a process, but it's so worth sticking with and it's so much fun. And you can just see all the color and texture and everything in there. This one, again, just have fun with them. Like this one is using the Ghoulish Greetings. I use the 2 bats. You can see my bats are actually standing up. Let's bend their little wings. So they actually stand up off the card like this. And then this one is really fun. You can see this more. So you can see it's a little bit glossy. There's some matte, but you can hear, I think my sound's on here. My hand's actually moving over it. This is all 3D. This is a thick 3D embellishment that I created myself using that Cobweb Corners stamp set. So we have put together our Creepy Cobwebs class. Bethany, remind me the date that we decided. Oh, October the 13th, because we decided it was the creepy day. So it'll be on October the 13th, a little bit like Lift Your Spirits, but it's a subscription only. So it is a class you purchase. You'll be able to come on here with the Zoom. We will chit chat. We'll have like a campfire chat. If you came to camp, you'll know all about those. And it'll be a little bit more interactive. Supply list, when you purchase the class, it will email you a link to the special Zoom we will use and also a supply list. And if you shop anything off of that supply list, there is a code for free shipping. As long it's a one-time use only, but you do have to purchase something off the supply list. You will also be able to pre-order a really cool product. This one right here, it's called Rainbow Sparkler embossing powder. And it's a Maker Forte exclusive. We've had it made. You can see how it dances like this. And we'll be using it on our Cobweb Corners stamp set. Now, if you don't have Cobweb Corners, you don't have to use it. You can absolutely use things you already have in your craft room. You know, if you have a similar stamp set, or if you're not into Halloween cards, but you want to learn the techniques, you absolutely can, because you can do this with any stamp. The only thing is you have to have a red rubber stamp, or in our case, white rubber stamps. That is the one thing, is you have to have a rubber stamp. You cannot do this technique here with a photopolymer stamp. You will definitely ruin it. So make sure you have a rubber stamp to hand. But whether you want to do a Christmas stamp or Hanukkah stamp or a flower stamp, you can honestly do it with anything, which is the really fun part of all of that. So you will make all 4 cards that evening. We'll obviously have fun prizes and things. Speaking of which, I have some giveaways to do. So I'm going to remove this spotlight on here and add one right there. There we go. Hey, everyone. So we have some prizes for this evening, of course. Let me grab up our list. I'm going to pick some from Zoom and some from YouTube as well, just depending on how people wanted to watch. So first of all, let me load up. Where did my YouTube go? It's right here. Okay. So I'm going to scroll through. Our first winner is Christine Steedman, and we're going to give away 2 gift cards, one on YouTube, one on Zoom, and then I'm going to give away 4 cards as well, 2 on YouTube, 2 on Zoom. So let me pick our Zoom winner for our gift card. And our winner is Betty Brett. So congrats, Betty. So get in touch with Bethany, ecom@makerforte.com, ECOMM. And she will get your gift card. And then I'm going to pick 2 more from each to send out some fun of our handmade cards too. So the first person is Valerie P. And my second Zoom is Michelle. So congrats, Michelle. And then let's choose 2 on YouTube as well, because that's fun too. So I land on Kathy McLean, and I landed, oh, okay. I keep landing on my Bethany. That doesn't work. And I've landed on Love Venus Love. So Love Venus Love, make sure you email Bethany, ECOMM@makerforte.com, and make sure to send Bethany your address so that we can send you a fun handmade card as well from our lovely stash that we make here and the design team and things make as well. So, okay, what did I miss? So make sure you go on over. I'd love to know what everyone's favorite technique was tonight. Did you love the easy pencil to make the monochrome? Did you like the chalkboard, the monochrome or achromatic color? Ooh, that was in my cocktail. Or doing it with the re-inkers as well. So I'd love to know what your favorite techniques were. Lots and lots of fun. You do have an exclusive collection for Lift Your Spirits. So you can go and check out that. It'll contain your 2 stamps for next month, your exclusive stencils, which we'll also be crafting with on Wednesday. So you don't want to miss those. They are limited edition, first come, first served. So make sure you grab those. Come join me 7 p.m. on Wednesday for birthday celebrations. We're going to have lots and lots of fun, some really cool stuff. Come join us for the Halloween class. I'd love for you to join us next month on the 2nd Monday. Next month's Lift Your Spirits, though, is at 7:30, because at 7 p.m., remember, will be our Inktober video. So that gives a chance for everyone to watch Inktoberfest and still have time to jump on and do Lift Your Spirits over here as well. And have I missed anything, Bethany? Oh, she's typing. That means I've missed something. Betty says we need a calendar. So you do have a calendar for for Inktoberfest. Amanda sent that out. We'll send it out again in our emails as well. So you can check that out. And then, yeah, maybe we'll have a calendar of everything that's coming up. I actually have a calendar now on my desk, so I know everything that's coming up between now and the end of November. We'll be talking about Christmas Camp on Wednesday. There will be an early bird special happy birthday offer as well if you sign up on Wednesday night. So make sure you join me for that so you find out what it is. Bethany says, what's the link for the Lift Your Spirits stencil again? So if you can add that in. And I keep knocking this and it's so full that it goes everywhere. So that's that as well. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed Lift Your Spirits tonight. And that you learned some new techniques that you can use in your craft room. As I say, whether you use them with the stamps I use or whether you use them with other stamps, I really hope that you do get something out of it and you learn some new techniques that you can use as well. Does the Lift Your Spirits link come with the bundle? I don't know, does it, Bethany? No, you need to add the Lift Your Spirits link to your cart as well, because we basically filter on everyone who purchased that, and that's how you get the emails. But this month, when you sign up, you will get a PDF emailed to you, and it has the Zoom information to join next month too. So that's in there as well. The Dreambox. Oh, my Dreambox is behind me here. Yeah, we've been crafting in the Dreambox, so it's been great fun. Question on that, remind them when you did it. I don't understand. Oh, trying to find the link. Oh, for the Dreambox video. Yeah, I love my Dreambox, and it's been great. So far, so good. We've been filming in it. It's been working great. We still have a studio. It's not fully finished, and now Greg's away for a week, so I feel like it's that never-ending project. But I will get there, and we will do some videos over there too. But yes, lots of fun things going on. So I hope you will all come join me Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/hedgehoghollow. I know lots of you already subscribed, which is the reason you're here anyway, but I really hope you'll join me. We got lots of birthday surprises and all sorts of fun stuff. So we'll be celebrating, and I'll be up to all sorts of mischief because Greg's not here. So it'll be lots and lots of fun. So thanks everyone for joining me. I hope you have a great evening. If you have any questions, you know how to get in touch with us, and I will see you for more birthday celebrations later in the week. Happy crafting. Bye.